Welcome to Charlton Sports Weekly here at Anytime Fitness. Kind of a slow week last week with the Indians being off, but
no high school football, no softball. The only school sport was a JV football game against Ware County.
Right. Like I said, last week the Gators JV team came down here, and our JV won. It was a wild one from what I hear.
I wasn't there either. So.
I saw it on video. I got to watch that so I can give you a little bit of what I saw anyway. But Charlton jumped out. Well, Ware scored first. I think they intercepted the pass and ran it in for a touchdown. But then Charlton scored, I believe it was three or four touchdowns. I think it was what, 26-6 or 24-6 at the half. 26-6 at the half. Well, you think, well, they're pretty comfortable.
They're cruising, yeah.
Well, then the second half, they got fumbleitis and interceptionitis, and next thing you know, Ware County was up 34-26. And Malik Brunson, I think he scored right before the end of the third quarter and tied it up. And finally, I think fourth quarter, we scored 2 more touchdowns and ended up winning 50-34.
That's a bunch of scoring for a JV game, but good that they can get a big win against a big school like Ware County.
Right. I kind of tried to figure out and get some stats off the Charlton Sports Weekly's game film or whatever, and the best I can figure, I think Malik Brunson had about 170-something yards, I believe. He scored 4 touchdowns. So, it was a big day for him.
Big night for him.
He was a workhorse. He ran the ball hard, so.
And tomorrow, the JV has their final game.
Actually, I believe they've got one more after tomorrow, I believe.
Tomorrow they do play Pierce County.
They play Pierce County here at Indian Field.
6 o'clock.
I believe it's a 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
And Charlton Sports Weekly will be broadcasting live, so if you can't make it out there.
Versus Wayne County.
Okay. But if you can't make it there live, watch Charlton Sports Weekly at Charlton Sports Net. So we had a little bit of. They do have one more B team game after tomorrow. It'll be
Wayne County.
It'll be Wayne County. We'll go into that, I guess, next week a little more, where and when and all that kind of stuff. But as far as recreation goes, the teams went to Nahunta last weekend. And from what I hear, all 3 of our teams came out victorious. So don't have exact scores or anything like that, but a win's a win, right?
That's right. That's right.
Everybody has this week off. For some reason, the bunch from Brantley takes Georgia Florida weekend off every year, so they don't play that Saturday.
They must be at RV City.
They must be, so
pitching a 10 or something.
But our kids will be getting a break this week, and I believe they've got one more road trip, and then November the 10th they'll be back in Folkestone for the
final weekend.
Well, like we said, not a whole lot of other sports going on, so right now we're just going to go ahead and go to break, and we'll be back and talk some Indian football.
Anytime Fitness Folkestone, located in the Harvey Shopping Center, has everything you need to stay in shape or get that look you've always wanted. Upright conventional tanning beds, a Zumba room, weight room, and state-of-the-art treadmills. They also have supplements and tanning supplies. Anytime Fitness Folkestone is also the proud sponsor of Charlton Sports Weekly with Glenn Hughes and Stan Wilds. See Stan to get fit anytime.
United First Federal Credit Union has been a part of Charlton County since 2001 and has been providing great service to our members since 1943. United First now offers mobile banking and email alerts. Mobile banking lets you check your balance from your cell phone, while email alerts notifies you when a significant event happens in your account. Both are easy to set up and are free to United First members. United First helps you afford life. All accounts are federally insured by NCUA.
Welcome back, Charlton Sports Weekly. Time to talk a little Indian football.
Yeah, we was off last week. Kids got a chance to recover, recharge their batteries. They're preparing this week as homecoming against our biggest rival, the Swamp War, against Clinch County. Clinch County's coming in this year. This game's kind of odd because we're usually the two powerhouses in the region, and now we're 4-3. Clinch is coming in 3-4. So it's a battle for playoff position. Right now in the power rankings, we're ranked 5th amongst the public schools, and Clinch is down at 14th. So if we can knock Clinch off this weekend, they may drop out of the top 16.
Right,
they're
fighting for the playoff lives now.
Which means they've got maybe a little bit to play for it, and a little bit more to play for than we do, but this is a rivalry game, so we don't care what they got to play for. And I don't make no secrets about it. I don't like Clinch County. I never have. When I was in school, I hated Clinch County, and
it's kind of like me and the Gators, right?
Yeah, man, that's like you and the Gators. I rooted for Savannah Christian a couple years ago. People said, you ain't rooting for your region mates. I said, I don't care about no region mates. I don't like Clinch County, and I love going to Savannah, so I've rooted for Savannah Christian.
Right.
Too bad they didn't win, though. But I hope Clinch comes over here, and I hope we do a little bit more than scalp them. I hope we send them trekking back across the swamp with their tail between their legs. So it's going to be a tough game, though. I've watched a little bit of film on Clinch. If we can stop them from running the ball, though, Glenn, I'm confident we can beat them.
Are they basically running the Wildcat like they've run in the past?
No, they'll run out of the Wildcat. They line up in a pistol formation, and they'll line the tailback up sometimes beside him. The quarterback cannot throw the ball. I watched the film they had against Telfair County, and Telfair shut down their passing game. And truthfully, their quarterback had receivers wide open at times and couldn't even get the ball to them. So
let's hope they don't have any wide open receivers this week.
That's right. So if we shut the run game down, we'll win the ball game.
I know I've been here probably a little over 20 years.
Over 20 years, yeah.
I've seen some memorable battles between the two. I guess one of my all-time favorites was when we came from 2 touchdowns down and
with under a couple minutes.
Right, about a little over, probably about 2 minutes left. We scored. We onside kick, drove down, and I think Privet threw a touchdown.
Mincy
was about 5 seconds left, and
that was about 10 years ago, 9-10 years ago, I think.
About 2003 or 4, somewhere in there. So.
And that was a game to remember. It's been some memorable games over the year, and I've always told my boys to turn it up a little bit, turn it up a couple extra notches. Because when I was in high school, all 4 years, I never experienced beating Clinch County, and I knew some kids from over there, and they, they always rubbed it in. So I want my boys to. I want them to rub it in a little bit on them. So,
I forgot to look. I can't remember what year's edition this is of the Swamp War. I
think we're ahead a game or two.
I'm just talking about how many times we've played. We're getting close to about 60 times, I think.
You know, I can remember when I was in elementary or maybe even middle school, our region games was Clinch, Irwin, and Atkinson, and we played each one of those teams two times each year.
Right, I guess it just helped from having to find so many
non-region
games.
So you had a total of 5 region games, and but Clinch had a good run there for about 10, 12 years to where they dominated us, and for the last 20 years we've returned the favor. So
I think so.
I think they've beat us twice in the last 20 years, maybe 3 times.
It hasn't been many times.
Well, I hope our couple of decades of dominance continues Friday night. I hope we come out in the first half playing like we started playing in the second half 2 weeks ago.
Against Lanier, right.
Against Lanier, and don't let off the throttle. Just keep just even when the backups get in, I want them to keep the throttle down, gain some confidence. Let's go over. We control our own destiny now.
Right.
Turner County lost, so they've got 2 region losses. We've got 1. Wilcox has 1. Irwin doesn't have any. So even if Irwin is undefeated coming in here in the last game of the year, if we beat them, we've beaten the other 2 teams with 1 loss, so we're region champs. Get a higher seed, hopefully, and get to host a couple of playoff games. I want to host as many as we can here.
Right.
This will be my last full year of Indian football, unless my grandson plays here, and
that's a good ways down the line.
That's a long time from now, but I want it to be as memorable as possible, not only for Brent, but for all of the seniors this year.
I mean, they've heard some harsh criticism early in the year, so I mean they've stepped it up and did what they had to do, and I think they're going to continue just to keep getting better as the year goes on.
I told Brent the other night, him and a couple of the other kids was at the house, and this was after they had lost to Turner County a few weeks ago. I told them, I remember my senior year, 1990. We played University Christian, who hadn't lost in 3 or 4 years.
Right.
Went down there to Jacksonville. We beat them, had a bunch of confidence. The next week, I believe it was, we got shut out at Clinch County.
Right.
Went on to win the region, went on and lost in the state championship game here. So it's
just a matter when you get hot.
You get hot, you start playing, get on a roll, and if you can play with confidence, and every man does his job, there's no telling what they can do.
That's right.
I still believe in them.
Well, I guess we can talk a little bit just about other region games this week. There's no really big games that stand out. I know we've got Lanier playing Telfair County. Now, Telfair County kind of shocked everybody last week.
They did. They did.
They pretty much handled Turner County.
They did. And I bet you Turner County went into that game thinking they was going to steamroll them, probably like we went over to Turner County, probably thinking we was going to steamroll them, and it didn't happen.
Like I said, Lanier's pretty much the bottom of the barrel team this year, so I expect Telfair to continue to win against them. The other region matchup has Turner and Irwin playing each other. Now, if Turner plays like they're capable, that could be a
really good game.
I have a feeling that's probably kind of a little rivalry game there too.
Yeah.
They're pretty close to each other.
I think those 2 counties touch, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Turner's just west of Irwin County, so sure a lot of those kids on each team know each other, and they're probably will step up their game and play, both teams. So I don't know where that game's at, but either way, Irwin County seems to be playing with a little confidence, so and they're on the roll, so I'll give them the nod.
I think so too. And then the final region team, they're playing one of those rare non-region games late in the season. Wilcox is playing Swainsboro, which is, I believe, a AAA school.
They are, yep.
So that'll be a good test for them and see. Of course, we need them to win so we can get some more points out of them.
Exactly. We need them to win, and they should beat Swainsboro. I don't think Swainsboro has is too good this year. I look at all the different.
I think so. I haven't even looked to see
classifications.
this year, so.
So,
But anyway, I guess that's. Unless you've got something else, we'll go ahead and go to a break, and we'll come back with our fabulous football picks.
that's right. Just everybody, 7:30 Friday night. It's homecoming. One more thing. It's supposed to be a blackout.
Okay.
I got the inside scoop, Glenn. It's
All
supposed
right.
to be a blackout, so everybody wear black.
All right. Now, with that, we'll go to break
There
now.
you go.
Okefenokee Rural Electric Membership Corporation offers more than dependable electrical energy at a competitive price. Quality service is provided by a friendly and professional staff trained to meet your every electrical power need, whether residential, commercial, or industrial. If you have any questions or need information, call us at 1-800-262-5131. Okefenokee REMC, owned by those we serve. A proud sponsor of this year's Indian football broadcast.
T&T Building Supply is located about a half-mile past US 1 and the 301 split, north of Folkestone, right next to Taylor Timber Company. They have everything you need for your home improvement projects, with a wide selection of lumber, hardware, millwork, plumbing, and electrical supplies, concrete and masonry, power and hand tools, nails, and roofing supplies. They also have a large selection of mobile home hardware. T&T Building Supply is a proud sponsor of Charlton Sportsnet.
Radio Shack, located at 3885 Main Street inside the Folkestone Pharmacy, is your local Verizon Wireless authorized agent and Dish Network retailer. Radio Shack carries a variety of computers, tablets, smartphones, and other electronics. The Shack in Folkestone is proud of our student athletes and wishes them the best of luck this season. Now, let's go get 'em Indians. Radio Shack, located at 3885.
Welcome back to Charlton Sports Weekly, here to do our football picks. Well, you're going to do the picks, and I'm just going to do whatever and what I've been doing and getting them wrong most of the time, but it's all in good fun now.
That's it, man. This is the funnest part of the show. All right, we got 10 games here, Glenn. And we're probably going to agree with most of them except for one or two, maybe. All right. The first game, Kentucky at Missouri. This is probably the SEC East Cellar Dweller
This is the battle,
award.
the toilet bowl of the SEC.
This is the toilet bowl. It's at Mizzou. Kentucky played good against Georgia last week. They almost had a shot. They had a shot. They got the onside kick at the end, but I think Georgia was looking way past Kentucky because they done their best to play down to Kentucky's level. But Kentucky is still Kentucky.
And it's not homecoming for Kentucky at Missouri. So.
No, that's right. So, Missouri at home, flip a coin. I'll take Mizzou.
Like I said, I don't think Kentucky can get up to play like the way they did back-to-back weeks. So.
No.
And Missouri, they're destined finally to win an SEC game, I think. So this is the week they do it, I think.
I think Missouri's finally figured out that old man football comment they made. Truthfully, if Mizzou was in the Big 12 this year, they'd probably be, 6-3 or 5-3 or something right now.
That'd be better than what they are now.
They sure would. They probably neither one of those teams probably even make a bowl game this year. All right, next game, UMass, University of Massachusetts at Vanderbilt. Vandy gained a little confidence last week. I don't know how much of them. They need to brag. They beat Auburn, who's only won one game against a Louisiana directional school. But it is UMass, and Vanderbilt does play physical football. I don't know, this UMass, ain't that where a lot of high, like big-time scholars go, and Vandy's the smart alecks of the SEC.
Right, but But Vanderbilt's Division I school.
Vanderbilt's
Massachusetts is
1AA.
or whatever they call it these days.
I don't know.
Football,
FCS
football
or something.
championship series or subdivision or.
But Vandy does play physical. I don't know nothing about UMass, so I'm taking Vandy.
I'm going with the Commodores all the way here.
All right, this next game was real hard for me to pick. Alabama at Mississippi State. Both teams are undefeated. Alabama is a 25-point favorite in Vegas on this game. Now, if I was putting money on this game, I'm putting my money on Mississippi State. I won't be surprised if Mississippi State sneaks up on Alabama and wins this. However, Saban still is in charge in Tuscaloosa, and they hadn't lost yet. They're the defending national champs, so I'm going to go with Alabama in a close one. I think it'll be. When I say close, I wouldn't be surprised if it was 7 points or fewer. Mississippi State's got a good defense. So.
Like I said, Mississippi State's ranked, 11th or 12th or
somewhere
in there.
Top 15.
You know, their schedule hasn't been probably quite as tough as Alabama, but they've got a good quality team. But I just don't think they've got quite enough. Playing at home will help them, I believe.
Right.
So, listen to them cowbells ringing.
Oh, yeah. They will. They'll be ringing them, too.
But like I said, Alabama, they defending national champions. They've been in these situations a whole lot before, so I got to go with the Tide.
Yeah. All right, Ole Miss at Arkansas. I think Arkansas is finally realizing they got a few playmakers. Although they're still not playing up to their capability. No. Ole Miss, Arkansas, I believe, is 3-4. Ole Miss is 4-3. Ole Miss has overachieved at this point, at this stage of the season. This game could actually go either way. It came down to, if the game was at Ole Miss, I would have chose Ole Miss, but it's at Arkansas, so I'm going with the home team. That was my deciding factor, so I'll take the Hogs.
Like I said, Arkansas, they hit a very low stretch early in the season, but I think they're starting to put things together and
come into their own.
Right. I don't think they're still ever going to be the team that people thought they were going to be at the beginning of the year, but I believe the overall talent-wise they are better than Ole Miss, and so we got to go with the Razorbacks too.
All right, Texas A&M at Auburn. Auburn is horrible. They're the worst team, I think, in the whole Southeastern Conference. Gene Chizik may be fired by the end of the year. He'll go down as Cam Newton's daddy or something. Man, he's horrible.
Maybe Cam can take care of it.
Yeah. They both got about the same attitude, also. And I don't like Auburn. So I'm going to take Texas A&M in a rout.
Like I said, Texas A&M's played very well in their first year in the SEC. They ran into LSU last week, whose defense, shut down their quarterback, who's a major part of their offense.
Who was a Heisman? Talk about a Heisman candidate.
I believe he was the SEC's leading rusher.
He was.
And,
he was.
I think they held him to close to 30 yards of rushing for the game. So, but Auburn is not LSU, so I'm going with Texas A&M.
All right, Clemson Tigers at Wake Forest, the Demon Deacons. I think this is a Thursday night game. Usually, if an upset's going to happen, it's going to happen on Thursday night.
Short week to prepare.
Short week to prepare. Wake Forest is the home team. They've been known to pull an upset. But I don't think it happens this week. I think Clemson will beat them by a couple touchdowns or so.
Clemson has far and away the better athletes. It's just as long as they don't overlook Wake altogether, that shouldn't be no problem for Clemson.
All right, next game, Duke at Florida State. Duke is Heckle and Jekyll. 2 weeks ago, they take a big lead at Virginia Tech. and wind up getting blown out in that game.
Right.
The week before, Virginia Tech gets blown out by North Carolina. Last week, Duke beats North Carolina. So they, who knows? But none of those teams are in FSU's league in the ACC. So Tennessee and Tallahassee, FSU should easily cover whatever spread they got.
That's it. That's another one of them ones where quality athlete is just so much better at one school. So give them the tomahawk chop. FSU.
All right. This was probably next to the Ole Miss and Arkansas game, the next hardest game for me. North Carolina State at North Carolina. You know, Duke, NC State, and North Carolina are all within a 15-mile radius.
They're right on top of each other.
Yeah. And so this is, I mean, they call that series the backyard rivalries or was something to that nature. Anyways, they all hate each other.
Right.
NC State beat FSU a few weeks ago. North Carolina, I have no doubt, has better athletes than NC State. But I don't know. That's a toss-up. I'm going to go with the hometown or with the home crowd, though, and I'm going to take North Carolina.
Well, like I said, North Carolina is one of the main reasons why I'm so far behind you. So, so every time I pick for them or against them, or however I pick, I end up losing the game. So, but like you said, playing at home, so I'll go with the Tar Heels, and maybe they'll do me right this week.
Who knows in that game? That literally, that game, it wouldn't surprise me who the winner is. All right, Tennessee at South Carolina. Man, my Gamecocks, they're reeling. Two losses in a row, a heartbreaker at LSU, and then a beat down last week at Florida. I got up and got a Coke and came back, and the score was 21-0 already. I don't know what. The bottom fell out, man. So they're better than that, but props to Florida. Hey, they jumped on them and kept their foot on their throat and didn't let it off.
Right, like I said, they had, I believe, at halftime, Florida had 21 points and like 29 yards of offense.
They had touchdown drives of 1 yard, 3 yards, and 20 yards.
So that's hard to overcome.
I think Carolina gets back at, they're at home. It's been a long time since they've lost at home. Tennessee comes to town. Tennessee is, I think Dooley's on his way out at the end of the year, and I think the coaching staff is all probably looking for new jobs already. So I think Carolina will get back on the winning track, or at least I hope they do. So I'll take the Gamecocks.
Like I said, they've been beat down the last 2 weeks. Had two tough opponents. Tennessee, if they play to their capabilities, they can. They can. But I think they've been struggling a whole lot lately, and
they took a beat down from Alabama last week.
They did.
Too,
but Carolina's at home. They get here. What is it? The 2002 Space Odyssey.
2001.
2000. I was off a year.
Greatest entrance in college football, man. All right, now to the big game of the week. This is the 3:30 game, ain't it?
Yes.
3:30 game. So everybody clear their schedule.
CBS.
The border war game here with Georgia and Florida. Florida's on the tear. They're undefeated. I actually would give them the nod over Alabama the way they're playing as a better all-around team right now. Georgia, first of all, this is a huge rivalry game.
Just throw everything
Records are out the window. And I'm going to take Florida because of the way they're playing. I think Muschamp will have them focused. But I want to pick Georgia because usually the team that has the least to lose in this game winds up winning.
Right.
So I think of all those years, all Georgia had to do to win the East was beat Florida, and they choked.
Right.
Right now, all Florida has to do is beat Georgia, and they literally the East champs Saturday afternoon.
They'll
if they
clinch.
they'll clinch. As much as I want to pick the Dogs, for some reason this Florida team seems to be focused. The way they played against LSU, the way they went to Vanderbilt and took care of them, and then last week against Carolina. So I'm going to take the Gators. I know we're going to differ on this pick, but man, it won't surprise me if the Dogs take the win, though.
Well, we all know who I'm going to pick, so I'm going to give a little history lesson out here. When you ride on a lawnmower all day, you got time to think about these things. So, back in 1985, University of Florida they was ranked #1 in the country for the first time ever. Georgia had 2 freshman running backs, Tim Worley, Keith Henderson.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them ran for over 100 yards. Georgia shocked Florida 24-3. Now this year, Georgia's got 2 freshman running backs. Instead of Worley, we got Gurley.
That's right.
And instead of Keith Henderson, we got Keith Marshall. So a lot of similarities here.
That's right.
Instead of Florida #1, they're just #2.
Yeah.
So, they say history repeats itself.
It very well could, man.
And that's what I'm counting on. And one other fun fact that I dug up before I come up here. Now, Will Muschamp, of course, he played at Georgia.
Right, played safety.
Yes. So he played 4 years in the Georgia-Florida matchup.
Right.
He's coached 1 year in the Georgia-Florida matchup. He is 0-5
in the
Georgia-Florida matchup. So we're looking for that streak to continue. So with all that being said, go Dogs.
Give me a score, Glenn. Give me a score.
Well, if history's going to repeat itself, might as well say 24-3.
24-3. I'm going to say Florida wins 23-21.
Also,
I'm going to say, and they win on the last drive, last-minute field goal.
Now, one other thing, Georgia's, I think they're one of their free safeties this week. He called out their defense because they have been playing.
They have stunk it up, man. They stunk it up against Kentucky. But I think that they had a week off. I honestly think they came into that game looking way past Kentucky.
But like I said, he called out his teammates. He called them soft. And I think they're going to take that to heart.
Who was that, Rambo?
It was Sean Williams.
Sean Williams.
So I believe they're going to come out fired up and play a whole lot more physical this week.
Well, if Georgia wins that game, the only SEC game they have left is against Auburn.
I think they got Auburn and Ole Miss.
Auburn, that's right, Auburn and Ole Miss. Where they play Ole Miss?
I couldn't tell you.
It don't matter where they play Auburn.
Right.
If they play Ole Miss and Ole Miss, that might be a game for a half. If they play down to Ole Miss,
right.
But, probably whoever wins the game will represent the East. Probably against Alabama or LSU, or who knows, Mississippi State. I don't think Mississippi State. I think it's still Alabama or LSU's to win. I'm looking forward to. I hope that Tennessee-Carolina game is like at 12 noon. I think it is, so I can watch all of the Georgia-Florida game. And Georgia fans have always razzed me because I'm a Carolina fan, and the one game as a Carolina fan I want to win each year is the Georgia game, and I don't care.
Right.
I mean, as long as we win that game, I want them to win out, but as long as I've got a little bit of bragging rights, that's fine with me. But I just want to see a good game between these two, and let's see who owns the border this year.
That's right. So
I know who Adam's rooting for.
He's rooting for the Dogs, I know.
Yeah.
notice how the dogs always have to refer back to the 80s?
Yeah.
Hi.
Always go back to the 80s.
All right, you want to refer back? Let's talk last year. What happened?
Hey,
Okay.
let him know, Glenn, you're only as good as your last
That's
game.
right. You want to
You're
talk
only as
recent
good as your last game.
recent history. So,
Let's get a guest pick in here. Nick, come here. Come here. Get right over here where you can give us a Georgia-Florida prediction right here. Give us a Georgia-Florida prediction.
24-17 Georgia.
24-17 Dogs. He's even look at him, Glenn. He's dogged
hey,
out
my new
right
friend
now.
right here.
That's right. What do y'all think about that score?
Dog's gonna win.
He's saying 24-3 Georgia. I say Florida kicks a last-minute field goal and wins 23-21.
24-17 score.
All right. Anyway, we're gonna sign out this week, and we'll come back next week, and
That's it.
That's all of them.
We'll know who won the border.
That's right. You'll see if I got a smile on my face next week. What happened? But until next week, we'll see you.